Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the meeting. We'll start it off with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Dr. Criscione for a superintendent's report and some recognition of some fine students.
Thank you, Mr. Stout. We have some amazing things happening this evening. We're going to kick it off with some very special students from our class of 2025. Every year we like to recognize our highest achieving students, and in our audience today we have our valedictorian, our salutatorian, and our class poet. So I would like to take this opportunity to just say a couple of things about our students. Each of these students has demonstrated not only academic excellence, but also perseverance, leadership, and commitment to personal growth that exemplifies the very best of our district. To Tabish, our valedictorian, your achievement reflects years of dedication, curiosity, and an unwavering pursuit of excellence. You've set a high standard, and we're incredibly proud of your accomplishments. To Aras, your journey has been marked by hard work, resilience, and a thoughtful approach to learning. You've earned this recognition through your consistent excellence and integrity. And Nicholas, our class poet, your unique voice and creativity reminds us of the power of words to inspire, connect, and elevate. Your presence adds richness to the academic landscape of this class. On behalf of the Board of Education and the entire Mount Sinai School District, congratulations. We are proud of you, and we look forward to seeing the difference you will make in the world. Next, we have a very special recognition, and I'd like to ask Mr. Ray to come on up. Anybody want to do basketball players? You want to help?
Not on. A 23-3 record. Like I said, the greatest season in the school's history. Undefeated league, 6 champions, Suffolk County Class A champions, and Long Island Class A champions. So I'm going to ask each student athlete to come up and be recognized. But first, I'd like to introduce Ryan McNeely, who is Coach of the Year. Come up. And on the boys' journey, they upset Southampton in the county final and Floral Park for the Long Island championship. And they won in double overtime, which was probably one of the greatest sporting events I've ever witnessed. Byram Hills was just an outstanding effort on their part, a phenomenal game. And then they lost to Glen Falls, who has not lost a game, I believe, in 56 consecutive games, something like that. So, unbelievable journey for the boys. So when I call your name out, please come up. Alex Campanelli. Drew Caputo. Max Dabrusky. Dante Gervino. This next individual is All-League Coaches Award, All-Tournament, Suffolk County, Blake Kolsch. All-League Sportsmanship Award winner at the state championship, Brock Kolsch. Academic All-League, Connor Lehman. The Mustang Award, Marcus Mulglore. Maxwell McCarron. Andrew McNeely. Jacob Portnoy. Hunter Seeley. I don't think the next one is Brian. Brian's not here. Brian Vales was all-county, all-tournaments team, Suffolk County. The one and only Robert Vales. And last but not least was the MVP, all-county, MVP, all-tournament, Suffolk County. Oh, I'm sorry. PJ. Sorry, PJ. PJ Sheffley. Sorry, PJ. My mistake, I moved Dom to the end. So Dominic was MVP, all-county, MVP, all-tournament for Suffolk County. He was the Suffolk Player of the Year, first time in school's history. All-tournament for the state championship tournament. He was the Mount Sinai all-time leading scorer with 1591. And he'll be playing in college. Dominic Pinzella, great job. I just want to thank Ryan, Kevin Shawstrand, who did a great job, as well as Harrison Bach, who's not here tonight. And last but not least, I just want to tell you guys, your accomplishments on the court were phenomenal, but more importantly, just how you handled and represented Mount Sinai is phenomenal. Great bunch of kids, so congratulations.
More pictures? Are we good? Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that. Congratulations. Thank you. Really phenomenal year for you guys. We're so proud of you. So I know you probably have practice and tests coming up, and you are more than welcome. Our ladies and gentlemen, if you need to leave, we understand, so that's fine. Thank you so much for coming tonight. All right. We good, Mr. Cannett? Okay, great. So let's get on with what's happening around the district. So we had a lot of exciting things happening, specifically before the break. We competed in our robotics competition, where we have our team with Port Jefferson, and they did a great job. It was over at Hofstra University. So that was a great experience for our kids. We had our spring signings, so we had a lot of students do their spring signing, very exciting. And we also had The Little Mermaid, which was an incredible show. A lot of us, I know a lot of people at this table went to see it, and the music, the acting, it was just really incredible. And the kids really enjoyed it who were sitting in the audience. It was just great. They had a great time. An update on our capital projects. So we are moving along. We had an approved project, $3 million in May of 2024. We were able to get our state approval quicker than usual. So we have been able to get started on our baseball field. There are some pictures. Those were from right before the break, but if you go past it this afternoon or this evening when you leave, you will see our turf has been delivered. The grounds have been cleaned off, the dirt has been removed, and it's getting there. So we're hoping it's done soon. We're hoping our boys will still be able to play a game before the end of the season on the turf. We also are starting our program with our new phone system. We've been meeting with the vendors for our doors and the security system, and things are just moving along, and it's really great. We're going to have a lot done pretty quickly. The next thing I wanted to share with everybody, I know we had spoken a few months earlier about our energy performance project, and so Energia is here this evening, and Amoresco is here by Zoom to talk to us about the energy performance project that we're looking at. So I'd like to invite up Justin Benoit, who's going to be doing a little bit of some slides for us.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Justin Benoit. I am the Director of Project Delivery with Energia. Again, I'm here to talk about the energy performance contract opportunity we've been working on for some time now with the district. Have some slides here to share. Also joined virtually by Matt Ferdina from Amoresco, who intended to be here tonight. Oh, there you go, Matt. Yeah, unfortunately had some unforeseen car issues on the way, so wasn't able to make it, but is here, and he has a couple slides as well that he'll walk through. So I'm going to jump right in, but definitely want to say if there's any questions as we're kind of walking through everything, please feel free to stop me. Same thing, Matt is on as well to answer any questions that might come up. So with that, really just wanted to start brief reintroduction to Energia. We're an energy engineering, consulting, and design firm. We specialize in helping school districts with these types of projects. We've been involved in over 140 successful energy performance contract projects. I'll give a little refresher on what that kind of means in the next slide, but ultimately we like to see ourselves as the representative, a third-party advisor working on behalf of the district, right, to really make sure that the project is successful, that it's in line with your goals, and that ultimately, we're able to deliver a successful project to you. And so we have experience in, all different aspects of the project. From initial development, we were the ones that helped issue the RFP to select Amoresco. Obviously, the review, technical and financial review of all of that, will also be the ones taking the lead on the design phase of the project, doing the engineering drawings and getting SED approval. And then we'll still be involved during construction and even beyond construction when we're trying to measure and verify that the energy savings actually came to fruition. So again, we've been involved about over a year now and will continue to be involved throughout the life of the project. This slide kind of is a crash course, some key bullets or facts about energy performance contracting, but I think the biggest thing to note here is that it is a construction project, right? It's a facility improvement project that we're talking about here. The key difference between this mechanism, this type of project, and a traditional capital bond project is that the funding source for these projects are guaranteed savings. So we look to target energy efficient improvements. That could be lighting, HVAC. We'll talk about some of what's being included here. But all of those measures will drive a reduction in your existing utility budget. Those energy savings will be guaranteed to you, and then you can then use those energy savings to pay for the project. So you're not going out to the taxpayers, the community for funding. You're really leveraging the energy savings as the primary funding source for the project. So I think that's kind of the biggest aspect there. So any questions about any of that so far? Okay, perfect. And lastly, before I do open it up to Matt here to get into some of the details as far as the financials and scope of the project, I wanted to just kind of give a quick refresher here. So it was back in the spring, around this time last year actually, where Energia issued a request for proposals document for different, what's known as energy services contractors. Really as a process to see, what the best partner, who the best partner would be for the district in this EPC initiative. And through that process, and there was an evaluation, of course, there was interviews that were held with the respondents as well. Amoresco was selected as the winner of that contest. Then I believe it was June when we were here at the board meeting to seek approval for Amoresco to move forward with the next step in the process, which was the comprehensive energy audit phase. So really, from that point till now, Amoresco has been working to finalize the scope, the financials. We've had a lot of discussions with district administration as far as what should be prioritized for the project, how we can work in tandem with your ongoing and previous capital bond projects as well to really complement the efforts that you guys have made in the district. And so that process has really led us to tonight, where again, we wanted to share a kind of brief update, again, give everybody an idea of the scope and the financials, the economics that we're talking about here. And also, if you'll note, there's two resolutions that are included on the agenda as well. One is a seeker resolution. You may be familiar from, traditional capital bond projects. That's kind of the environmental state resolution that's required. It is a type 2 project, so there's no negative environmental impact whatsoever as part of the proposed scope here. And then the other item would be a resolution that would authorize the board president to execute the contract between the district and Amoresco, which is currently sitting with your legal team. It's just about finalized now. There was one last provision that was included at the request of Energia, and so we should be all set to move forward, and ultimately Matt can speak a little bit about next steps, but really at this point Energia would, with of course the district support, look to move forward with the design, ultimately the financing, and then start construction on the project as well. So if there's no questions on anything that I spoke about so far, I will pass it over to Matt if you're still with us.
I'm still here, Justin. Thank you.
Perfect.
Well, good evening, everyone. I apologize for couldn't be there in person. I was really looking forward to it. Beautiful area. I love heading over. Unfortunately, the new transmission in my truck had completely different ideas of what I wanted to do today. So here we are. But big thank you to Mark for setting this up. Initially, it was going to have Justin cover for me, which he's more than capable. But again, great work by T-Team, Mark and Scott for letting me able to be here. So over the last 6-7 months, we've been hard at work investigating every square inch of the district, trying to squeeze out every possible kilowatt hour and therm of savings in this project. Scott, Paul, honest, everyone in the district has been fantastic to work with. Administratively, even down to custodians, everyone's been a wonderful help in this project. And so, I hope the next time, from higher level, right, the total project size is coming in at $10.25 million, every single penny guaranteed. But what's actually nice about this opportunity is that this is going to generate over $4.8 million in cumulative cash flow over the course of the project. As a simple payback, just in 18 years, 17.9 years, it's going to generate just under $1 million in rebates and incentives coming from the state, federal government, from 2 different resources. So the team's done a lot of hard work on this one. If we go to the next slide, Justin. This is the final ECM matrix. ECM is the acronym, the Energy Conservation Measure Matrix. And so you see each school and district's getting a lot of work. The lighting throughout, next item was integrated EMS system. That's the energy management system. That's going to make Scott and Bill's life a whole lot easier. The advanced to DEC conversion, the high school to middle school. Infiltration reductions, that's going to be the one where it's going to reduce the number of complaints, problems with each of the buildings. Next is the solar PV array. These are going to be roof mounting systems, mostly ballasted, which you won't really see those a whole lot, but that does come with the data acquisition system, which the district's STEM programs, and we just mentioned some robotics kids, we're involved. So most, I'm sure those kids will get heavily involved with this as well. Then you have transformer replacements. You won't really see those, but they burn a lot of energy when they're really efficient. Then you have walk-in freeze controls. Obviously, kitchen staff will really appreciate these. It actually makes entire environment much more comfortable. And then finally, we have the elementary school. We have fuel oil to natural gas conversion. That took quite a bit of engineering on our side, but we were able to include that. Now we're not going to go through all these in a lot of detail. We're going to go through some of the ones that really make this project work. So go ahead, Justin. So here at the high school, this is the roof-mounted solar PV array. Between Amoresco's solar team and the design team at Energia, this is pretty much finalized. We had a structural review come through that we were just about finished with to submit to New York SED. But you can see here there's individual sections of solar panels going up. but we make sure that there's a lot of room for any kind of rooftop maintenance and access. So there's an opportunity there for some companies to come in and just fill every square inch of panels, but that's not practical. So we want to make sure that we provide a realistic project for the district. Now, each one of these arrays will be actually feeding the grid instead of feeding the building directly. And that's because New York State realizes they need more power. And so, because of Mount Sinai's unique location on the North Shore, they desperately need it. So they will pay handsomely to produce power in places like schools. So high school arrays actually generate over $96,000 of annual bill credit. This is one of those things where it's going to overproduce during the spring and summertime. The sun's the highest, and it won't be as productive in the winter months, but that usually balances out for overall net positive benefit of the project. If you want to go to the next slide, Justin, you can see the middle school array. Yep, and the same thing here, right? It's a bit of a unique building. So maybe a little bit selective on where those panels ended up, but slightly larger size is going to generate over $105,000 in annual bill credit. And it's same program, right? We're going to be feeding the grid through the New York State's Value Stack program. And the V array, that is a lot of acronyms as well. That is the value of distributed energy resources. So that's the New York ISO, utility company coming together to figure out just how much that power is worth in that site. And then they provide a rate for what it would be. So that's how this works. And then if you want to see the elementary school, Justin, I know there's a exciting opportunity there for some upgrades, but similar size to high school, just over $90,000 in bill credit. And the same program, right? Go right through the value stack into the grid. And again, I don't have a picture of this yet, but this does come with a data acquisition system. And what's really nice about this is that we actually generate an online dashboard so that different levels of access, right? But if a student wants to go in and see just how much power each of the arrays are producing based on weather patterns and annual angles of sun array, there's a lot of opportunity for learning and programs. We actually can provide the district with that curriculum as well, which is really, really exciting. Being able to work with something that's actually on the roof. Plus, you're not going to know that those panels are there. They're going to go up there, and then it won't be an eyesore for the community. Go ahead, Justin, go to the next one. So the lighting system improvements, this is the measure that your community is going to notice the most. As you can see, your beautiful library is nicely lit. And not to say any areas were underlit, but when you replace a entire district's lighting system with bright LEDs, it's definitely a boost. There are a lot of fixtures in the districts are what's called recessed troffers, meaning when you have a drop ceiling, the panels lie flat and there's a little area above. And so these new units, every single component comes out of the old ones. And we take the ballast set, we take everything out, and then these new units go right into that old shell, creating a completely new profile. So it's fantastic. It's wider, it's brighter. It really freshens up the space. Then other areas like wrap fixtures, those will get new flat panels. And also some of the areas where you have lamps that it may not work, those are going to have direct wire tubes, which will last a very, very long time. So one of the items to note is that the picture here to the right that has the kit, as we call them, those have integrated controls. That is an excellent tool for the teachers to use in the classroom. What happens there is on bright sunny days like we had the last couple of days, they may not need as much light, so you actually dim them a little bit. Whereas days where it's just cold and damp in late January, where you need more light to go in the classroom, teachers can actually increase the light level in there. What's nice is that the teachers have to remember to reset them. Each day when the day is done, they have clocks that are set up so that come midnight, they reset to the original setting that we can work with the district to set at the correct level. So those something the teachers absolutely seem to love. And then the next slide, this is where Paul and Scott, this is going to make their life a lot easier. So we are integrating and upgrading the new energy management system. So Each school is going to have what's called the Tritium N4 platform, which is a completely open protocol product, meaning any company that has the Tritium license can work on it. Historically, a lot of school districts had handcuffs on who they could have work on their control systems. Just like if you buy some new cars, unfortunately, you might have to go to specific dealerships to have them done. Whereas in this program, whoever the district is comfortable with in the controls are able to install them. Now, we have worked with a couple of other local control companies, work with some of the preferred ones for the district to get pricing we intend to use on the construction side. But this is going to go from the picture you see on the right, which is some of the existing pneumatics in the middle school, to the left, which is a state-of-the-art program. You guys, the district will be able to not utilize that just from a desktop, but from their cell phones. So on days where, the wind's blowing sideways with lots of ice from a nor'easter, there's been no school, with a flick of a few fingertips on a phone, the districts can be able to put the buildings through a setback mode, which is very, very convenient. Additionally, the high school and middle school are going to have the existing pneumatics are going to be replaced with electronic controls to make life a lot easier. And really the scheduling capabilities as well. I know some buildings have to operate if the basketball teams are practicing. A lot more sections of the building need to be in occupied mode than need be. And so this is going to give us a lot more control, which will drive a lot of the savings. To pay for, in this measure, the more expensive item is actually the pneumatic removal. It's a pretty expensive process, but it's something that brings the district into modern times in the future. So, Justin, that's the end of my deck. If you go to the next one, I have a slide that again says thank you. This process so far has been an absolute pleasure, from everyone in the district. So, if there's any questions, by all means, ask. This is what we're here for. We're a resource in the district.
Okay, perfect. Well,
right.
Thank you all for having us, Matt. Appreciate you dialing in as well.
Thank you so much, Matt, and thank you, Justin.
Thank you, everyone. Again, sorry to not be there in
Good luck.
person, but everyone have a lovely evening. We'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Alrighty. All right, moving on, we're going to have our fourth budget workshop tonight. And we're going to be covering state aid, projected tax rate, budget outline and predictions, capital projects, and propositions. So just some history of where our budget has been the last couple of years. Our increases over the last few years, budget to budget. So in 23-24, we had a 4.65% increase in our budget to $66.8 million. Last year, we had a 3% budget to budget increase to $68.8 million. And this year, we're proposing a 2.8 increase budget to budget of $70.7 million. So right now, they're still working on the budget. They have not released the final numbers yet. I keep checking. Supposedly, they're getting close, but they're not finalized yet. So as of this moment, we're still using the numbers we were given by the state, which includes $14 million in foundation aid, $307,000 in high-cost aid, $37,000 in private aid, special ed, supplemental excess cost, $1,000, building aid, $869,000, transportation, $2.1 million, high-tax aid of $393,000, textbook software, $162,000, computer hardware aid, $22,000, and BOCES aid of $533,000 for a grand total of $18.725,683. And if you look budget to budget, our state aid the year before was actually a little bit higher. So overall, when you balance out the different aids, it doesn't come out to much. Because as much as they said they gave us a 2% increase, they actually reduced other sections. So we really did not come out ahead. So our projected tax rate. Budget to budget, we're 2.8%. But when we add in and we do the formula, which is we calculate our state aid and other revenue, we look at our appropriated fund balance and what we can bring towards the budget. We have our tax levy amount that we need to bring within the cap, our assessments, and our tax rate, and that brings us to 3.95% tax rate, and that's within our cap. So what is our budget outline and predictions? Again, if we take for account that we don't get any increases in state aid over the next few years, and we keep at the amount that we received this year or just a little bit more, and keeping within the 2% that we're expected to by the state as far as the tax cap is concerned, or 2% budget increase, we would really decimate our fund balance. So again, we constantly look at our numbers, we advocate with the state. The board has been wonderful this year as far as, reaching out to local politicians and the state to try to help out, working with other districts, working with the coalition to really put some things forward, and hopefully we'll see some more money at least. Capital projects. So we just discussed the energy performance contract, and some of the other things that we've been doing over time is chipping it away at a lot of the different projects that have to be done in the district. When I came in last year, we had been working on a huge $6 million project with all kinds of projects going on, science labs, all kinds of things happening last summer. And we're slowly but surely chipping away. But one of the things that we found is that at our modular area of the elementary school, which was supposed to be a temporary area, it has become a permanent fixture and a permanent section of our building. But it's been a long time that it's been there, and a lot of the pieces are falling off. And this is not a regular brick around the building. This is like a what do I call it? Just a facade. So at this point, we've had our architect looking at this, and we have to replace the entire outside of that elementary section, that modular section, and that's the kindergarten and pre-K wing. So if you look at some of the pictures that I'm showing you, having those brick facade come out is causing water to get underneath, get into the classrooms, and it needs to be replaced. So that is something we're going to be focusing on for our capital project for May. We would be replacing the entire outside, we'd be replacing the windows, working on underneath if we can get to it. We also have some internal sections of HVAC. In our gymnasium, we have the HVAC, some concerns that we need to fix, so that's part of the project as well. And we need some electrical repairs in the portables. We have to upgrade some places because of the new regulations with the air and the heat regulations from the state. So our Proposition 3 is going to be $2 million from our capital reserve for capital projects at the elementary school. This will not not cause any increase in our tax, property tax, okay? And we will continue to develop the remaining capital reserve. Each year, we'll look at what different projects we need. So our three propositions are the budget, which is $70.7 million, the library, which is $1.9 million, and a capital project of $2 million, okay? Any questions from the board about the projects or that piece of the budget? No? Just some information about who voted in May the last few years. We like to share some data. Number of voters by the age. Interesting, just the information out there. About standard, about 10,000, there's 10,000 registered voters. Last year we had about 1,000 people who voted. So hopefully everyone will come out. We will be voting in the high school this year, so that's a change. So we want to just make sure that everybody comes out to the high school to vote that day. It is May 20th. Please come out at the high school. And what are the times? 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. So that's a long day and plenty of time to get out there to vote. Some important dates coming up. We have to adopt our property tax report card by this evening. Our tax report card will be sent to the State Education Department by close of business tomorrow. We have our budget hearing on May 13th, and our school budget vote will be at the high school on May 20th. Some upcoming events. We've got concert season starting, believe it or not. Starting tomorrow, our jazz band, chamber choir, and chamber orchestra will be performing. We have our National Honor Society induction for the high school next week on the 1st. We have our 7th grade trip to Boston on the 2nd and the 3rd. AP exams for 2 weeks in the beginning of May. parent orientation for our incoming fifth graders, the middle school, 7 p.m., and our elementary variety show at the high school. And that is my report.
Thank you very much. All right. We appreciate that. We do have, those projects they weren't our initial plan, those elementary school projects, but as some things developed and we came to see what was going on with the portables on the elementary, it necessitated being done sooner rather than later. So moving on with the meeting agenda. John, if you would, approval of minutes.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education hereby approves the minutes of the March 19th, 2025 regular meeting, March 20th, 2025 special meeting, and the March 25th, 2025 special meeting as submitted.
Thank you, John. Can I have a second? Thank you, Chuck. All in favor? Excellent. Chuck, if you would, personnel.
For personnel, motion resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education hereby approves personnel items A through D as listed below.
Thank you, Chuck. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, John. All in favor? Passes.
Thank you. I just wanted to point out we have a special appointment here this evening. Our new music teacher, Maggie King. Just wanted to introduce her to everybody in our audience. And the reason we're hiring Maggie King is because Trish Panassi is officially our Director of Music and Applied Arts, and you just approved her official appointment this evening. So congratulations, Trisha.
Yes, welcome aboard. And a full congratulations to Tricia. All right. Christy, if you would, action items.
Action items, educational, motion resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent. The Board of Education hereby approves action items A as listed below.
Thank you, Christy. Can I have a second? Second. Thank you, Chuck. All in favor? Excellent. John, if you would, action item business.
Action item business. Motion resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education hereby approves action items A through O as listed below.
Thank you, John. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Christy. All in favor? Passes. Chuck, if you would, action item annual vote.
7 action items, annual vote. Motion resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education hereby adopts the following propositions. 2025 school district budget, library services, capital project to be voted upon at the May 20th, 2025 annual meeting.
Thank you, Chuck. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Christy. All in favor? All right, it passes. We're up to you, Miss Audrey.
Good evening, board members. I would like to share some of the exciting events that have been happening at our schools this past month. Over the past 2 weeks, our elementary students participated in Neurodiversity Awareness Week, which began with school-wide assemblies discussing the importance of understanding and embracing neurological differences. Under the guidance of Ms. Stankiewicz, students contributed artwork to a beautiful display in the main hallway. Teachers shared books with their classes that explored neurodiversity, and students using augmentative communication devices led morning announcement and shared inspirational quotes over the loudspeakers. During the week of March 31st, our school celebrated Library Week with themed spirit days and a mystery reader series. Students listened eagerly each morning until Mr. Colmer, one of the PE teachers at the elementary school, was revealed as a special guest reader. On April 9th, high school students from the parenting class visited kindergarten classrooms, fostering meaningful inter-age mentorships. On April 23rd, Spanish teachers and Spanish students from Ms. Burke's class visited our pre-K classrooms to teach introductory Spanish vocab through engaging activities. On April 24th, FBLA students will return to work with elementary school students, continuing a valued tradition of mentorship and leadership development. These visits offer a lasting impact not only for our youngest learners, but also for staff and alumni who witness the growth of familiar faces now returning as leaders who are much wiser and much taller. On April 30th at 6 p.m., families are invited to our annual Music Information Night, where third graders can preview musical instruments and learn about the commitment involved in joining the fourth grade music program. Our third graders have completed day 2 of state ELA assessments, and fourth grade students begin testing tomorrow. Math testing will follow in the next 2 weeks. Ranger Eric visited fourth grade to prepare students for Mr. Walsh's annual Bob White quail program. Students will observe the life cycles of quails from eggs to release in the wild this July. This hands-on project is not only educational and fun, but also supports local ecology by helping control the tick population. At the middle school, 88 eighth graders proudly represented Mount Sinai Pride during their annual 3-day visit to Washington, D.C. from April 3rd to April 5th. This well-loved tradition enriched their understanding of government, history, and civic identity, directly aligning with their social studies curriculum. On May 3rd and 4th, 105 7th grade students will travel to Boston for an immersive history experience. Students will explore the rich heritage of Beantown through engaging tours and firsthand exploration. On April 23rd, 8th grade students attended an in-school production of From the Fires, Voices of the Holocaust, presented by Theater 3. The play portrayed the life of Rachel Gold, a Berlin teenager, tracing her journey from the rise of the Nuremberg laws to Auschwitz and to Mauthausen. Students listened attentively and engaged thoughtfully with the performers during the Q&A session. We are deeply grateful for Theater 3's community partnership with our schools. At the high school earlier this month, representatives from the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office visited our high school to give a moving and powerful assembly on the prevention of bullying, hate crimes, and discrimination. Our speaker, Jose Lucero, spoke about his experience of losing his brother to a hate crime. He emphasized the importance of kindness and respect towards everyone. Tomorrow night, the Chamber Orchestra, Jazz Band, and Chamber Choir are performing many pleasant music pieces. Come out to support our talented musicians in the auditorium at 7:30 p.m. The class of 2026 will be holding their junior prom on May 3rd at the Hamlet. There will be a red carpet at the high school at 5 p.m. There will also be an ABC countdown starting on May 5th, where students are encouraged to dress up according to the alphabetical theme of the day that the student government created. It will be a fun way to show school spirit and to end the year. Donut Decision Day will be on Friday, May 2nd. It is a good opportunity for students to show off which college they've committed to, and students and staff are encouraged to wear their college gear. A big congratulations to many students who applied and got accepted into the National Honor Society. The induction ceremony will be held in the high school auditorium at 7:30 on May 1st. As the weather gets warmer and we continue to get closer to AP exams, students have been working very hard to finish the year strong and hopefully with good grades. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Audrey. So at this time, we'll open it up to some questions from the community. Nothing? Nothing, Pete? All right. Well, if there's nothing further, I will take a motion to close. John? Can I have a second? Second. Thank you, Chuck. Hope everybody has a wonderful night, and we look forward to seeing everybody on May 20th for the election. Thank you.